And half of that worked. There we go. What's going on, guys? It is Nathan. That guy down there is Nate. I know you probably don't recognize him, but that is in fact Nate. Still playing Marikar, so don't worry, guys. Just because the person looks different, the character's still the same, I think.
No, the character is also really cool now.
The character grew a mustache and also invented sunglasses.
Yeah, he just wears like it's just glasses made of bark.
No, it's like he just learned what glass was, so to make them dark, he puts like some tree sap on it.
Yeah. That's it.
If you cut slits in those wooden glasses, are they truly considered shutter shades?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's the creator of the fucking stunners.
All right, Kevin, it's all yours.
Okay, so welcome back to Middle Earth. I actually can't remember what happened last week. I think it was just a lot of pottering around Bree, wasn't it?
Nothing happened last week. Absolutely nothing happened last week.
True. Marikar has a new girlfriend.
I mean, he's got the Riz, apparently.
He has a cougar after him, I believe. Yeah, so Aurelion spent some time last week asking about the local history of Bree, as well as checking out the map, discovering that the map contains something called smoke letters, a dwarven art, a dwarven skill that involves smoke being added to the map to reveal hidden letters. Dwarves do this with many different skills, moon letters being one, smoke letters being another. Aurelion found this out and discovered the hidden details. We'll let Aurelion read them out shortly. What they revealed. He also managed to learn a bit of the local history of Bree, as well as the location through the map of where their next destination should take them towards. Damrod went to Archit, where he found that it's a little bit more rustic. Marikar went with him and felt a little bit more at home, as it was not as big as Bree and resembled the woodman towns back home a little bit more. There, Damrod spoke to the tanner, the leather worker, and found that potentially the leather worker could repair the armor pieces. However, it was going to cost quite a bit of resources, resources that the leather worker didn't have at this moment in time. And so Damrod was trying to find ways of potentially resourcing what was needed for the leather worker. While this was happening, Marikar spoke to the lumber mill, speaking to a woman there who ran the lumber mill, whose family ran the lumber mill. He needed to vent somewhat after hearing some news and misunderstanding some news about his lost not love. Began hacking down a tree for them, venting somewhat, which took quite a bit of time. Not quite managing to get through the tree that day, but wishing to come back and earn some coin and do some work with the lumber mill. They accepted Marikar's offer. He also managed to acquire some wood to take back to the inn, where he could begin making a table, one that he broke previously. Rook stayed very much with Aurelion, trying his best to get Aurelion to loosen up and stop studying, doing Aurelion's homework so much, and actually cheering up. He also tried to investigate, speaking to the local blacksmith, if the blacksmith had any way of repairing or creating a hilt for the sword that he had recovered from the troll cave. Without any luck, unfortunately. However, Marakar came back with a lump of wood, a hardwood that potentially could be used as a grip. Aurelion being a little bit confused, not Aurelion, sorry, Rook being a little bit confused about the offer of using wood as a handle, turned it down at first, with Marakar thinking that, yeah, he could actually put together something. However, Aurelion, can you remember what you discovered on the map?
Shoot. Give me 1 second.
I mean, I just gave you maybe a minute of me talking.
I discovered it was in
And
some
he
kind of
literally
hollow.
did say that you were going to have to do this.
I know, but goodness, where's the map? It's in here somewhere. Oh, Black Barrow, that's where it was. So the map was essentially, it's a dwarfish map, so the north was to the wrong side. So I'd been looking at it basically upside down. And let's see, in smoke letters, it says around the Midgewater marshes, here lies the Black Barrow, and nearby here is the King's Chair. So it had said that the company had found some kind of treasure in a spot that was definitely a region. So we can definitely tell that this is leading to the ring that was lost from Osinethel. Oh wait, am I explaining this in character or am I explaining it out of character?
We can say that was out of character.
Yeah, I would have been a little bit more eloquent if I knew I was talking as Aurelion.
However, you had already discussed this with Damrod.
And Rook.
Yeah, and Damrod did say that he could direct you to the King's Chair, a ruin located in the Midwater Marsh, and that you could start making preparations for your journey. So it is the morning, maybe the morning after your discussion, as you are beginning to just make your final preparations. Has Marakar been building the table?
Yeah, starting the next day, Marikar would have got to work building the table, probably like outside around the corner, outside, kind of getting all the pieces ready for assembly.
Yeah.
And then he'll bring it inside, get to work on it.
Yeah. Okay. Rook, what's Rook doing the following morning as everybody's getting up?
I'm gonna go locate that piece of wood that I just tossed aside. Maybe see if I can whittle a handle.
Well, Marakar had the piece of wood.
Yeah, had it
go
on
find
me.
him.
You can certainly have a go at whittling it yourself if you wish to ask. However, I think Marakar did offer to potentially do it for you with his woodworking skill.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah. If he came outside, Marikar would be like finally shaving like a table leg and like being real particular with it. And you may be able to see like he knows what he's doing when it comes to woodworking. If you come to see him outside.
Yeah, I'd find him and just kind of grinning because I know what he's making. He's being very meticulous with it. And I'd walk over to him. Is that offer for the handle still open?
And you'd see he wouldn't notice you at first because he's real passionate about wood. And he'll look up and he goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, no, totally." And he'll put this down, and then he would pull out the piece of hardwood. I don't think we discussed like specifically what kind of hardwood it was, but he'd pull out this piece of hardwood and he'd be like, "So I already got kind of a rough design." No, there's no geese in the fucking table legs. God damn. I hate geese. There's actually a goose with its head cut off,
Nice.
really, really tiny into it. But he's got kind of like a rough shape of more of an elegant handle. And he'd kind of hand it to you and see like, he'd say, yeah, I was working on that last night. Give me another day or so and I should be able to get that all settled for you, if you still want it, that is.
Oh, absolutely. Can you fashion the blade to the handle?
Maybe I could definitely make the handle. That's not an issue. But
I pull out the scimitar and just kind of like,
yeah, and he's like trying to match up the what he's got of the handle to like where the tang is, and he would say, "Well, I don't know a lot about sword making, but I think that there's a few different ways you can do this. You can burn the tang into the handle, but we can also kind of split the wood in half and plop it on top of the handle and pin it together, possibly. I think that part of it would have to be a blacksmith job, though."
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you however many time or however long you need to work on this. And
Well,
whenever
once I'm done with this table, I can absolutely get started on the on your handle. Kevin, how long would it take me to kind of get this table in working order?
I mean, I think we were spending about a week, wasn't we?
Mhm.
In Brie, just doing different things. So the table's probably been underway for the last day or so.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you could probably have the table all assembled. You've cut and carved all the
Mhm.
pieces that you wished. And today's sort of the assembly point
Gotcha.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then whittling down this piece of wood, you probably think it's probably going to take a while, or maybe a day or two of just
Mhm.
solid sort of concentration on it.
Right.
Or you might even be able to do some while you're traveling if you're just nonchalantly whittling it down enough.
Sure.
And then during while you're eating or resting, you might just have enough time to again continue to work on it. So it'll probably take you 3 days, 4 days, 2 days if you just spent 2 solid days doing it. However, 4 days if it's like disrupted by travel or doing any other activities.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I tell Rook, well, once I get this table done, I can put all of my focus on your handle here.
do you need some help with the table?
Yeah, I mean everything's just about ready for assembly. If you wanted to help me put it together, that might that'll get it done a little quicker,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'd just take off his pack and everything, just kind of set it down really close to him. Where can I start?
Yeah, and Marikar will start directing you on how to get this done.
So Nate, how about have you got woodworking tools on your character sheet?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, not the not the item itself, the skill to click on.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. Excellent. Could you give me a woodworking tools with wisdom, investigation, and dexterity.
Yes.
So give me 3, please, and we'll see how masterfully you crafted this table.
Wisdom, dexterity, and perception.
Intelligence.
Oof. 14, 5, 14.
Okay.
Those, yeah.
Right. So I would say that like that's definitely 2 successes, but the crit fail is going to be like 2 failures as well. So how about you give me another one, one final one as a decider, and I'll let you choose what ability score you wish to use.
Okay, gotcha.
Um,
I wish to use strength.
okay,
Stealth.
and I was going to say, but I'd like you to describe how you're using that ability score.
Yeah, no, I think realistically I would use dexterity again. All right, hold on. My cat is being needy. Give me one
Finally,
second.
let that
Let her-
poor baby
Get
in.
the
Let
cat.
the kitty in.
I just want to be where the people are.
Show us. Oh, he can't hear me. Show
All right.
us the kitty.
Sorry, she was
tell.
screaming. Yeah, well, now that I opened up the door, she just wants to stand out there.
Oh,
So, you know,
I mean,
Ty-
as is a cat.
typical cat things. Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
But yeah, so we're gonna go with dexterity, and the way I'm kind of thinking about this is, we get all the pieces inside, and we're trying to fit it all together, and just some of the pieces almost fit, but not really. So, Marikar is trying to carve whatever he can. Hello, cat. Here's the
Oh,
cat.
yes. Hi, Miss Stink Bottom.
Yes. She is a very smelly cat.
Aren't they all?
Yeah. But yeah, so like he's trying to fit some pieces in, and he's just like shaving off very carefully, just a little bit at a time until it just kind of fits in, but not so loose that it kind of wiggles and wobbles. He's trying to get that perfect kind of snugness. But he doesn't want it too tight that it starts splitting the wood. So he spends a lot of time kind of just critiquing those little things
Yeah,
about it.
cool. Well,
Okay.
give me the roll and let's see.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
Ooh.
22.
Nailed it. Yeah, your skill
Literally,
and time. Yeah, your skill and time and extra time taken allows you to, you've even managed to do a dovetail mitre on this.
Yeah.
Where needed, and it fits snugly. And Barleyman is like, oh, well, yeah, mighty fine work there. Wasn't expecting something so good. Much appreciate it.
Oh, and I appreciate you, Barleyman.
A little hearty chuckle from this short, round, stout, red-faced, cheerful barman who owns this establishment. Who more than once has maybe taken pity on you guys since you've turned up. Well, maybe not taken pity as such, but
You sure helped out.
Yeah, that you're good folk. You're a good sort. Yeah, and you managed to put together a brand new table that's not wobbly, that's pretty sturdy. You think it would probably take a little bit extra oomph from you next time before breaking. Yeah, Aurelian and Damrod, while Rook and Marikar, I guess the 2 perceived children of the party, are building the table. What would you 2 maybe be discussing?
I would probably be asking Damrod, what exactly will this journey entail? How long are we expecting? What kind of materials do we need to bring with us? And what sort of threat will we be facing?
And Damrod's answering all of those questions to the best of his abilities.
Give me a survival check. You will double your proficiency as it's your known lands. Looks like there we go.
Oh, that's real good.
9.
So with proficiency doubled, that's 9.
9.
You do have
Nice.
inspiration.
Yeah, let's hold on. I'll use that when my character sheet reloads. One moment. Let's try again. Maybe. 7.
So that's, well, it is a 9. You still take the higher of the two. You think that obviously the midwater marshes are difficult terrain to travel through, but you think that you should be able to pick a way through it pretty easy enough. You think maybe 2 days travel, you should be able to find your way to the King's Chair. You're maybe overconfident in yourself with this. So yeah, 2 days of travel in a marsh. For you're probably thinking, yeah, I can do that. The Rangers do this all the time. It shouldn't be an issue. Maybe not taking in consideration the other 2, well, the other 3 that will be traveling with you.
Do I take into account the fact that he may be just like guessing based on his ranger ability?
Yeah, give me insight.
Cool.
You have.
This is going
I'm
well.
guessing you have
Mhm.
faith and belief in Damrod's ability.
All right. Well, I'll let Rook know. We can start off whenever he, you, and Marikar, I assume, if he's able to come already.
You are all sitting around the new Marikar table, with its first plate of food as well as drink on there. When
The car's
in
just like
comes-
throwing these wooden discs at people. Use a coaster.
Yeah, he definitely made a bunch of coasters for the
They
table.
have coasters out in the wilderness.
this
No,
is
but
great.
yeah,
They
it's
do now.
This is a fancy place. You got.
No, I'm talking about wherever Marikar grew up, that he knows what a coaster is.
Oh, he had no idea what
Look,
the coaster is until
if
he saw
he-
it somewhere else.
If he likes wood this much, he has to know what a coaster is.
No, we like the rustic style of table that has a bunch of stains and chips in it, because it looks homey and used. You know.
So he's actually pouring his entire drink across it to get that
Yeah.
good film.
I just see Marikar standing
That's
in
how he
front of
stains
this
it.
this really nice table, and Barleyman walking up and admiring the table, and it's got like intricate designs in part of it, and Marikar's looking proud of himself, and Barleyman's complimenting him on it, and then Marikar takes out this knife and just starts putting grooves in the top of the table.
I was
Now
thinking
it
that
looks
he
right.
has like he has a whole bunch of wings in front of him, and it's just like he's getting the sauciest wings possible and eating them with his hands on the table.
No,
And then-
he wouldn't go that far on it. Next time
he
he's
or-
here, though. Oh yeah.
He orders a big tankard of ale, and there's like everyone thinks he's about to drink it. He's like,
Pour one out for the table.
From my homies.
And the into the common room comes a familiar young man to you all, arm in a sling, and he's looking a little bit frantic as he pushes the door open. He's like, "Oh, there you are!" Comes like pacing over to you all, puts his hand on the table, looks around at you. Did you find the map afterwards? And this is Tom, young Tom, the nephew of Tim.
Unfortunately, no. We were able to rid the town of the troll, but there was no map to be seen.
I heard about the troll head you brought in. So you found it and killed it, that big thing. But you didn't find me uncle's body.
No,
we were looking for his uncle's body.
Were we supposed to at one point?
Well, we were looking for the map.
Oh, somebody else messed up, not us. Okay.
To be fair, we didn't quite know what your uncle looked like. Yes, I've heard stories, but couldn't tell you exactly what he looks like. And certainly not after a troll had gotten at him.
He's looking around, squint-eyed at you all. I needed to find it.
Well, if you feel safe enough to go that way, we can certainly draw you a map. And maybe you can retrieve his body and put it to rest, as I'm sure that is your greatest concern.
He's a little taken back by it.
No, I just want the fucking map.
Can you give me, Aurelian, a deception check?
Hell yeah. Hell no, I can't. Can I use my inspiration on that?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Damn it. I wish. I don't know what to do. I know my dad buried the map with my uncle. I needed to find it.
You could always cut open the troll and see if the map's in there. We just brought back the head.
Oh yeah, the body's still back there.
Well, maybe I'll have to.
I'd just be very careful about what else might have taken up residence in that cave.
I'm not afraid of that anyway. I'll and he turns and he sort of storms back out, pacing back out.
That boy's gonna get himself killed.
Maybe someone will remember to dig him a grave and make sure his body stays in it.
Everyone, just give me just a perception check, please.
Ooh.
Hey, there we go.
Making up for all the ones.
Damn.
Yeah, Marikar's picking his nose.
Which he often is.
I'm watching.
I'm rubbing it in the table.
I'm just
Get those good old fashioned knots in there.
That's not.
It's like smooth that out. Okay, Aurelian. As you are watching young Thomas turn and pace out, in the corner of across the room, around another table, there is a small company of dwarves. And you see one of them in particular with a pipe. And even though he's there trying to light his pipe, you can see clearly that he's trying to look and keep track It looked like he was trying to watch the conversation between Tom and yourselves.
Does he notice me looking at him?
Let's find out. No.
Okay.
He seems to be like watching Tom leave the room.
I don't know where Damrod's sitting, but I will just like kind of nudge him under the table and say, we may have some eyes on us. And I will just very quickly like flip my eyes towards the dwarf.
Do I notice him if he's watching us or just Tom?
By the time you like Aurelian brings your attention to the dwarf, you probably wouldn't notice if you're going to turn and look in his direction. Again, I don't know which way you're facing at the moment. Yeah, I don't know your positioning around the table.
I'm a ranger, so I'm obviously watching the door, but in the most shadowy part of the most shadowy part of the table as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
So
underneath the table.
Yeah. Maybe you was originally distracted by Marikar, whatever Marikar's doing, and not paying attention to Tom as he walked out. And you look up from your position and you see the dwarves, but you maybe don't see this dwarf. Or you don't see the one that's paying attention to Aurelion, well, your party, as well as Tom leaving the room.
Aurelion, you can't be suspicious of everyone that's not an elf.
I'm suspicious of someone that I know was listening to our conversation. Thank you.
Seems to me that they're just having a drink.
Perhaps, but... And then I will drop my voice even lower and just lean into where Rook and Marikar can't hear you. With what we're looking for, it is good to err on the side of caution.
Yes, but if you're always cautious, you'll never get any information. People won't trust you.
If you're always cautious, then when something surprising happens, you will never catch me off guard.
I don't know. We seem to have been caught off guard a lot since we've joined company. And if I know any stories of you, you're always cautious.
Certainly, I'm more cautious these days than when I met your father.
He's often said that.
All I'm saying is it might be smart to make sure no one else knows what we have.
Isn't that what we've been doing all along?
That's what I'm ensuring, but if anyone asks, just make sure you keep your story straight.
What is our story exactly?
That we found no such map, and that we are just going to be continuing our journey tomorrow.
Does
Where that
anyone
journey
else
leads-
know that we
Sorry, go
were
ahead.
looking for said map?
Well, I believe that Tom may be the only one, but it's possible that there are others, and he will like glance towards the dwarf again.
Right. I just know that we only promised to bring back the troll head, so if someone knows that we are looking for the map and like he's saying all this and kind of whispers to you, or your item, then they've gotten that information elsewhere, not from us.
Correct, but we just need to make sure that we are not being shadowed. I'd hate for more people to become involved in this than who is already involved. More people with duplicitous intentions.
Damrod gets the "that's so Raven" look, that looking like off into the future,
Mhm.
and says, "There's always shadow around."
How very ranger-like of you. And I just like glance him up and down, looking at all of the darkness that he is in right now.
It's like, why are you wearing your hood inside?
To be fair, I'm wearing my hood
I
inside.
was
And
fixing to
so is
say, I'm looking at the two elves who are also wearing their hoods
Yeah, but-
inside.
Yeah,
They
but
just-
there's
they
like
just-
there's like wearing your hood, and then there's wearing your hood.
Oh, I don't have a hood on.
I mean, at least my pipe every so often lights my face. At least there's that.
What's the dwarf doing right now, Kevin? Did he ever get his pipe lit?
He did get it lit. He leans in, and he is having a conversation over the table with one of the other dwarves, while the other two around the table are maybe being extra loud. Give me an insight check. Damrod can as well.
Which tells me that that was not enough.
Well, I mean, you've brought it to Damrod's attention, so
Okay, fair.
I imagine he's now thinking of this.
I
Yeah,
finally rolled above a 3.
You did it!
Aurelian, you probably are just thinking that they're now having this natural sort of conversation. Damrod, you are maybe the suspicious one now, that the two of the dwarves are maybe knowing dwarves a little bit better than Aurelian. You are definitely thinking that the two of the dwarves are being a little bit more obnoxious on purpose with their loud chatter and maybe over boisterous behavior, while the other two are not being as loud. Almost,
Ooh.
you might think it's a bit of a smokescreen.
God, those dwarves are crafty.
Now you're sounding like an elf.
But we
Could
don't
be
know
right,
that.
Aurelion. They may. I'm not saying they were watching us, but they may be hiding something. The question is,
what-
how important is it that we find out what they know, if anything?
Perhaps less important than ensuring that we are kept as secret as possible. What they know could be nothing, but if we confront them, then it's very likely they'll become even more suspicious of us. If anything, it's possible that, they might be suspicious about, and he will point to his hood.
What's wrong with that? I do it all the time.
And then he points back and forth to him and Rook. Like very
I think
discreetly.
It's probably more suspicious that Marikar is the only one not wearing a hood.
Correct, but underneath your hood, you have less features that are hated by dwarves. That is what I'm hoping that they're catching on to, as opposed to the other things.
Right. Well, we are leaving in the morning, so it may not be a problem for long.
Perhaps. And then I will turn to the party as if we haven't just been having this one-on-one conversation. Marikar, Rook and I are planning to leave tomorrow with Damrod in our company. Would you perhaps be interested in joining us?
Yeah, and as you look at Marikar, he's actually like trying on a wooden helmet that he made that looks kind of like a hood. And he's like, I'm sure it's gonna fit. And he's like asking Rook, like, does this look okay? Do I look like
It's a bit
it
like
really just looks like a bucket helm?
No, you need to shave some off at the side, man.
I was
Oh,
thinking
okay,
it
yeah.
maybe looks a bit more like a salad helmet or something like that.
Yeah. But he looks up and goes, "What? Oh yeah. When are we heading out again?"
I would like to wake up tomorrow and get ready with make sure my packs are secure with some medical herbs. Maybe around 9ish.
Whatever time that is, yeah. Yeah,
I'm-
I mean, if the sun's up, then we can get going. Hey, are we still looking for your necklace?
And I will cover his mouth and I'll be like, oh, who knows where the road will take us.
Nice.
He'd be like,
Really nice.
oh.
No, like I don't discreetly do, I don't like obnoxiously do it, but I kind of just like enough to where he's probably like, oh, gotcha.
Oh, good. Yeah, right. And he like makes a zipping, or no, he does buttons on his
Yeah,
lips.
because we established you don't know what a zipper is.
Yeah, he
is
does buttons
canon.
on his lips, and he goes, mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But we had better get to sleep. It will be an early day tomorrow.
How do you like this hood of mine? And he puts on the helmet, and it just doesn't fit, but he tries really forcing it. Everyone else has a hood on.
It looks fantastic.
That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said. I really appreciate your honesty.
Just take it, trust me.
Damrod is spitting L back
Hold on,
into his
hold on.
cup because he was taking a drink. As Marikar says this.
Hold on one second. And Rook, I very much appreciate you.
And so it begins.
Guys, I know this has nothing to do with D&D, but I don't know if you guys have watched Dave on Hulu, but Nate's describing this helmet. All I can think of is the episode where they're at an artisan fair and they find a dude that sells wooden shirts, and they get this little kid buys one and he's walking around in a wooden shirt and then he falls over and he's like, "Guys, I can't get up."
Can he make that next?
Oh, I can make anything, given my roles.
Mm-hmm.
So, Marikar,
Yes.
it seems like you've got the rest of the day to do some things, and so why don't you give me 3 woodcarver tool skills again?
All right.
Same intelligence, wisdom, and dexterity.
So we got dexterity, intelligence, and wisdom. Woof.
Okay.
Not doing too well.
Yeah, you can
You were just boasting about that.
19, 24. Can you
I-
just make a note on your character sheet?
Yes, I can.
24.
24.
Mark, I want you to put 24 slash 24 slash 100.
Oh,
Gotcha.
percentage.
Yeah, so that'll be your progress sort of tracker on doing this grip.
Oh
That's
man.
smart. I'm gonna steal that, Kevin.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I mean, you can just set different targets. So if someone wants to learn a language, in the past I would have. So let's say Aurelian wanted to teach Marikar history, because now you know history.
So that's gonna be 3,000, right?
Well, it would be you would roll history, and then Marikar would roll straight an intelligence save, and then you
Look at
just
that.
combine the two numbers together. You combine the two numbers together, and then that's how much progress they've made in it.
Okay, so 24 plus minus 3 is gonna be 21.
Yeah, yeah. That's if you was trying to teach someone something. So you would roll the skill, they would roll intelligence to see how much they've absorbed. and then you say, well, this is really difficult to learn this, so it's going to be 200, your target number, and then that's when they would do it. Rook, over the day, what have you been up to?
Other than helping Marikar build the table, nothing else than just kind of going where Aurelion wants to go, because we're about to leave. So he'd be getting everything ready, making sure all his arrows are ready, checking the string on his bow.
Yeah, excellent. Okay.
Other than that, really nothing.
Damrod?
I think Damrod's probably gonna try to see if he can find any supplies that we may need. Because if I remember, I spent the last little bit of last session, like prepping my gear and potentially Marikar's gear as well, and looking for cows. So I think that Damrod would probably try to secure any supplies we might need if we need any extra rations or anything for this trip. That we would just try to be prepared.
Yep. Okay. And Aurelion?
I would double count all of my like poultice and medical supplies, and I'd probably head over to the schoolhouse to see if I could possibly bum some stuff off of the teacher there. Like, as far as I know, she has medical supplies.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a persuasion check. Okay. Yeah, you go to the schoolhouse, and Mistress Anna opens the door. You can actually see that she has some of the local children in residence. Well, in the classroom at this moment in time. You can see that there are both hobbit children and human children. Oh, hello. Welcome. What can I do you for?
My apologies. I wasn't aware that school was in session today. My comrades and I are planning to head out on the road, and I wanted to ensure that all of my medical supplies were in order. If you would be willing to perhaps loan me some, I could give you the coin needed, or if there was going to be a significant time for you to put that together, I could absolutely keep an eye on the children while you're doing that. I hate to impose.
No, it's not quite the right time, as if I was to leave, they would be quite boisterous. As she looks over her shoulder at the children, who are already sort of like trying to peer through the door to see who she's talking to. And you can see over her shoulder that some are whispering and sort of giggling together. If you are to come back later on, then I should maybe be able to provide you some at a cost.
Of course. Again, I do apologize, and I will head out the door.
Did you manage to discover what you wished, the information you needed?
Oh, yes. Your knowledge was quite useful. Thank you very much.
No, there's no problems. Good day. And she'll go to close the door.
And I will just leave and come back at a later time with whatever coin is needed.
Yeah, you come back. You can mark off maybe 4 silver. We'll say 3 silver.
Okay.
Roll me a d4.
I'll give her 4 just for helping me out the other day.
Okay. You can have 3 of any of the herbs you
nice.
wish.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah. So you can have 3 of them. That could be 3 of the same, or 1 of each, or a combination. So not only will it fill up your poultices for your healing hands, but She'll also have the 3 herbs for you.
All right. Can I look that up and get back to you with whatever
Yep.
herbs? All right, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. So the rest of the day goes by, and you all meet back up and prepare to sleep for the night. Aurelian has the supplies needed for the journey. Damrod has been out to acquire traveling supplies and rations. Marakar has been using Rook's hand to try and gain the best size possible and shape. Sort of getting there, got the rough size marked down now. Then Rook has been. Does Rook have an instrument? Muted, Charlie.
An instrument? I don't think so.
Do you think Rook would have an instrument?
I mean, if anything, it might be like a flute type weapon because he's from the wood. I would imagine he could whittle himself a flute or a recorder of such.
I've got.
sorts.
If
Yeah,
you need
okay.
something, I've got a dulcimer.
Why don't you give me a performance check? Seven. Maybe you're new to the Aurelian's dulcimer, and you've been trying to play it, keeping yourself busy, trying to learn a new skill of some sort, and it's not going very well at the moment.
No. If I had a better teacher, this would work better.
I'm going to ignore that.
You all rest for the night in whatever way you wish to rest for before you prepare your leaving in the morning. You gather all together. What time, Aurelian, would you say you wanted to leave, or would you defer to Damrod?
I would defer to Damrod.
Okay. What is Marikar's mood at the moment while we do some filler for Damrod to come back?
Yeah, Marakar he's excited to kind of get on the road and continue on. Yeah, I think that's really it. He's just excited to kind of move on. He's kind of over the big city life. He wants to get back into the woods and we're going we're not going the same way as Nyla is suspected to be in, right?
Potentially, but that's down to that would be down to Damrod's guiding and which direction he would probably like to go in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think just the idea of being excited to get on the road. He wakes up early. He's usually like a 6 a.m. kind of guy. He wakes up early. He has his big meat and egg breakfast, and he's just kind of waiting in the main area for everyone else to get ready and going while he's carving out this handle.
Yeah. Okay. So, Damrod, you have a decision to make. Acting as the guide in the area. Which way would you like to go? You feel that the straightest way to get to where you want to go to would be to actually head up towards Atchit again and head across country into the marsh that way. That is sort of as the crow flies, or more so the saying is as the ranger walks. However, the more difficult, the easier route for the most part is to actually head directly east along the road and then cut north from there. What would Damrod's thinking be?
How difficult would the quicker path be?
The quicker path, you're probably again you're talking about a northeasterly direction for the King's Crown. So let me just get the ruler up. So from your current location here, you're sort of looking in this direction.
We're not on the, or
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not on the
right.
map.
There's no map.
Oh, okay. My mistake. You are now. Yeah. So you're sort of talking this direction for the King's chair. So you can head up to Atchit, just here somewhere, before then heading this way. Or you can come onto the road, head along the road, and then head north. You'd be traveling across country a little less, going along the road. But like I said, the straight away is literally to just head this way.
How much time would it save to go the straight way versus the long way, or the down the road?
Based off your role, you know, you're probably thinking that you'd probably save a day going the straight way.
I would probably take that to Aurelion, and just say something along the lines of, there's two paths we can take. One is a bit rougher than the other, and it'll only save us about a day. Or we can travel along the road and add an extra day to our travels, but likely be a lot safer and a lot more comfortable.
Kevin, can I use my dark foreboding to know if like this more dangerous path is going to be extra more dangerous?
I
can post it in the chat if you need.
Yeah. Extra dangerous.
I'll be right back while y'all do that.
Well, the thing it specifically described, like one example is whether an orc band is an isolated raiding party or a larger force being driven by something more sinister. So like, can I feel like kind of a sixth sense almost if this would be more or less dangerous? Like particularly when it comes to the shadow.
You would feel that you'd get a sense. It's a difficult one because I think the orc band being isolated or a larger force is you'd have to sort of almost run into it.
Oh yeah, it's just an example that was given in the book.
You would feel that heading into the marsh would be dangerous either way. However, coming from the south from the road just feels easier to you.
Well, and I will turn to Damron now that he is back from his snack break or whatever and say, well, I think that maybe we should take it a little bit slower. I do have something that would perhaps make this a little bit easier. And Kevin, I had mentioned it to you, but I took water lily, kingcup, and hagweed, and I will give a little woven bracelet of kingcup, which to Damrod looks like a little bracelet made of yellow flowers. Perhaps this should make our journey a little bit easier. And I will give that to Damrod. And Nathan, you have the lucky status for 1d4 plus 1 days. So if you roll a 1, you can now re-roll.
Cool. How many days?
1d4 plus 1. Do you want me to roll that?
Yeah.
So for 4 days,
4
you have the
days,
lucky
nice.
status. Because I don't trust your rolls lately.
Only I could use my dice. Okay.
Yeah, so you can. Do you wish to follow Aurelion's suggestion in taking the slightly longer route?
Well, with this flowery bracelet on, I feel bolstered. We could take the short route now. No, we'll take the longer way.
Yeah.
Okay, just ignore me.
We'll take the longer way and be safe. Hopefully.
Oh, never mind. I misunderstood.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you like to assign your party roles then? So, Damrod will be the guide. We have the hunter, the lookout, and the scout. The scout is someone who will sort of be ahead of the group, picking the route as well as finding a good campsite. The lookout will be the one looking out for danger and looking out for signs for things. The hunter will be the one that will follow tracks or investigate tracks, maybe search for resources. So,
what were you guys before?
I don't quite
I
remember.
mean, we don't
think
have
I
to
was
all have the
lookout.
same. We don't all have to have the same assignment every time, but
I'm
it
pretty
works
sure
for
that
me.
Rook should always be the scout.
Yeah, I think I've usually been the lookout, and I mean, I don't really have a great role to be in, so lookout seems to be the most fitting.
What does Hunter rely on?
survival for tracking, mostly. Maybe some nature, potentially. Perception a little bit. Investigation, maybe.
My everything except nature is pretty mid, but I have really good nature. What are you guys looking like?
Sounds like you might be the hunter.
I'll take it.
I'm just picturing Aurelion as the hunter.
It's hunter gatherer, and
Mhm.
Aurelion does more gathering than hunting. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we have a delicious meal of hunted corn.
The elves do love a good hunt. Even the elves of Rivendell.
Yeah, we're just more about like hunting birds rather than big game.
I feel like elves, like the Rivendell elves, they do hunting in the sense of like, oh, I have a guy who has quail in a cage. And then when I walk up with my shotgun, I say, all right, let them free. And then he lets them out and then he shoot them.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
because you're known to know what the elves of Rivendell do.
I mean, that's just my perception.
The pampered elves.
He's
Yeah.
seen the movies enough times to know what the
Mhm.
Rivendell elves are like.
Yeah, them and their
Yeah.
shotguns.
Well, you know.
The shotties of the elves.
Well, the AI
Shotties.
shows you what it looks like if there were guns in Lord of the Rings.
Just, Nate's actually seen him. He just downloaded the wrong one.
Yeah, I know all about Lord of the Rings. They go to Narnia in that one, right?
With their pump action longbows.
Yeah, and they say it's nerf or nothing, right?
That's why Legolas is so fast.
Yeah.
It's just semi-automatic.
He's got-
Legolas.
he's got
Where can
rocket
Rook get
shoes.
one of those?
There was one back at the troll cave. You just didn't get high enough perception to find it.
Aw. That's unfortunate.
I know life's
Actually,
hard.
you didn't investigate the tarp and what that was held up by.
Get out of here with that crap.
We spent a lot of time on that fucking tarp.
I was fixing to say, if there was a shotgun bow, I'm pretty sure we would have come across it.
Yeah, well, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Guador has it.
Oh, Guano. Guano has it. Hey, where'd my chat go?
Okay, so Damrod, could you give me a survival check, please?
Yes.
No.
In fact, first of all, could you give me a D8?
Wow, I'm doing real great with rolling dice tonight.
Does that?
Okay.
No, it's a D20. It's supposed to be a
Oh
D20.
my god, bro.
You make your preparations to set off. However, after waking up and making your preparations, you look out the window and realize that there's been a large downpour. And it is still raining heavily. It's the thick, constant raindrops that you see, sort of monsoon conditions almost. It's also pretty windy. Also, the weather's pretty bad. You can go out, no issues, but it's going to be had some extra difficulty on your travel.
That's fine. I've been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild anyways, and it rains on me constantly in that game, so it's fine. I'm used to it.
Is anyone here wearing metal?
No.
Damrod's fine, or Marikar's fine. He's wearing all wood.
What about that big?
Always got my wood on.
What about that big metal? That big metal plate that was put in his head those years ago.
It's covered by a wood helmet now. It's fine.
That's true. Well, if we're going to a marsh anyway, this shouldn't change too much.
I mean, why not be a marsh before we go?
It might be an ocean by the time we get there.
Aurelion, you're always so positive. Just a delight to have on a journey.
I
Yeah,
feel
so-
the same way about you.
I do.
I mean, I could
So-
stay here and let you find your way yourself.
Considering I gave you such a lovely present this morning, I think you owe it to me. Owe it to your father, I suppose. I'm sure before he passed, he would have preferred that you assist me in this.
Well, your dad's dead.
No, but remember, he lied about it, and I never
Yeah.
caught it.
Yeah.
I'm sure this bracelet of flowers is adequate payment for all of the joys that we're about to have.
About to.
And Damrod will start heading towards the door to leave, I guess. Start out on their journey.
Yeah, despite it being daytime, it's a rather gloomy day as the rain is coming down heavily. The streets of Bree thick and clotted with mud and puddles. Anybody that's out, you see almost scurrying from one building to wherever they're heading to. Thick, heavy hoods that look like they've been treated with wax, maybe, to try and keep it as waterproof as possible. And the group can head out and make their way east along the road towards the east gate. You leave the east gate, heading along the road. Just give me a survival check, Damrod.
Right. There we go.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
You head out. Select the token along the road and travel for 2 days along the road, making good time. if you wish, you can try and push on and and set a fast pace if you wish, Damrod. You may have to make some rolls, a constitution saving throw from everyone, to keep your pace and travel a little bit further. Or you can just go to normal pace.
What do you guys want to do?
I'm good to push it.
Let's push.
All right, let's push.
All right, let's
Okay.
push.
Yeah, you will progress. You do want to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you do travel here. You can, just before the light fades off to the north, you do see the in the distance where the marsh sort of starts. Everyone give me a constitution saving throw.
Aurelian dies. Oh no, Rook dies.
You got some inspiration, right, Rook? Charlie, are you talking?
the inspiration has not worked out for anybody yet, but I'll give it a shot anyway.
It worked out for me.
That's better.
It's not a critical fail.
The thing about it is using inspiration on a nat 1, your situation either stays the same or gets better. There's no getting worse, at least.
You can't get
Yeah.
worse.
Aurelian, are you going to choose to use your inspiration at all?
Sure. Can't get worse.
Damn, how
It
much
can't.
inspiration
It
you all
doubled.
have?
Well, I had like 3 at the start of session.
I think I've got 1 left.
So I'll mark it down.
Okay, with your some of you being a little bit more inspired and driven on, you can see that Damrod and Marikar are much more used to being out in this sort of weather. And they are able to get their heads down and push on through the heavy rain and downpour. The 2 elves may be feeling a little bit more downcast from it, but seeing the 2 humans push on ahead of them, they dig into their elven pride and are able to push on and keep up with the fast pace of the 2 large humans in front of them. Rook, give me a stealth check. See what sort of campsite you can find.
And if I do.
Okay. The lookout, Marikar, give me a perception check.
Hey, there we go.
Okay. And the hunter, Aurelian, give me a survival check.
There we go. You might have got a
Okay.
squirrel this time.
Yeah, enjoy your quail.
So, while traveling along the road, Aurelian, Marikar actually spots some of these, this small flowery patches, and he's able to point it out to you. And you realize that this is Aphalas.
Oh, hell yeah, more king's foil.
Yeah, so you can give me a D4.
Sure.
Actually, you can find, you can recover 4 pieces of Aphalas King's foil.
Nice.
Um,
As I'm picking this, I will explain the importance of this and what it does to Marikar. And hold on. all about how it is a longleaf plant found only in small sparse thickets where the men of the West once made their dwellings, for they brought it to Middle Earth long ago, and it has many virtues, but few know them in the twilight years of the Third Age.
Excellent.
So it's a plant, and only you know what it does.
It's essentially.
It's a weed.
Yeah.
I mean,
That-
we got tons of this shit back
Damrod-
home.
Yeah, Damrod and Rook would also know. For Damrod is one of the men of the West, whose ancestors brought it to
Ah.
Middle Earth.
Do y'all put that in
Um,
your pipe thing?
No, wrong type of weed. This is
Oh.
more of a poultice. You use it to heal.
Oh, bless you.
He's like, isn't poultice like potato chips with gravy on it?
No, that's poutine. We definitely eat poutine.
I'm sorry, that is chips for you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chips and gravy. Well, sounds
Chips
good.
and gravy. Oh
It
man,
sounds worse.
almost as good as biscuits and gravy, right?
Ew, that's. I'd like to imagine what Kevin's thinking of when we say biscuits and gravy.
He's
Like,
thinking
what,
of
some, like,
scones and
some-
beef gravy.
some
And a
digestive
brown.
biscuits and like some beef.
Digestive biscuits?
That's not nice.
No, we gotta bring it to a good place to get some biscuits and gravy when you come into town.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm-
Also, I'm gonna have to bring over some digestive biscuits.
What is? I need to know what a digestive biscuit is.
Well, you know the
Sounds
Brits, they
disgusting.
eat a lot of
Sounds
intestines
nasty.
and they eat a lot of processing in organs. You know, like stomachs and
Oh,
intestines.
you know what?
and
That's true.
What's it?
They
Trame or tripe?
digestives are pretty common over here.
What?
And quite yeah, people like them.
Okay, question. One of the things that came up was like lotus biscoffs. Is that what it is?
It's not, no.
Biscoff.
Okay, I was gonna say, I know what that
cracker,
is.
like a biscotti, isn't it?
No, biscoff is like what they use for cookie butter, kind of like a ginger snap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not it. That can't be right. I know what it is, Kevin. You don't have to write it down.
Oh, just in case.
Digestive biscuit. In case you wanted to Google it, Ray.
I did Google it because surprisingly, I know how to spell both digestive and biscuits.
Oh,
Ooh, look at you and your reading.
Look
Wow.
at you and your smarts.
I always
So-
end up Googling something during these sessions.
It's somebody has to. So you so you reach the end of day. You're feeling tired, but not overly tired. You Rook manages to just go off the road slightly and begin searching for a good place to rest for the night. He's able to find a pretty decent place. Damrod, give me a D8 once more, please.
That's a 3,
The
sir.
weather does, the weather does improve. The rain does let off at the end of the day. However, you are just getting sporadic spells of rain at this moment in time, but the wind is howling from the west along the road from Bree. Rook, what sort of camp are you able to find? It's decent, it's serviceable. There's maybe a small bit of cover. But yeah.
Obviously, it's been used as a camp before. I would imagine it's
Yeah.
not, but it's not overly obvious. I would point out the spots we can go for cover, and if we're gonna set up security, I would like point out the spots where best security points would be to check out regularly, as versus sit in one spot.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. Do you build a fire at all, or try and build a fire?
I would leave that up to us, like a vote, I guess. Do we want to attract, or is it not a big threat at this moment?
At any point did we feel like we were being followed?
He's thinking.
Marikar,
Yes.
I would say yes. Marikar at some point would have looked over his shoulder and thought that he saw someone on the road behind him. Maybe just towards the end of the day. No, we'll say at the start of the day, and maybe that's the reason for you wanting to push yourself a little bit further, a little bit harder, and you lost sight of them after maybe your first break on the road, quite early on in your travels. You've not seen them since. Yeah, so Marikar probably would have
Yeah.
passed on, something like
Yeah,
that.
Marikar would let you all know that. And as we're setting up camp, he would kind of turn towards Rook and Damrod and be like, are you all concerned about the possibility of someone following us? Should we lay some traps or something like that around camp? Early warning devices.
I wouldn't think some traps or something to let us know somebody's getting close to us would be a bad idea. Is anybody really good with traps?
I say that whatever we set up to be a warning system or something to capture someone, not to harm them. If someone is following us, we don't know who it might be. Or, for that matter, we're traveling on the road. If someone is behind us, they could just be other travelers. I think that for the most part, we should set up like we're normal people camping. We'll be going cross country very soon, and we can possibly lose them that way.
Then let's light a fire.
Yeah, normal people light fires.
Mm-hmm.
Hope
Normal, non-suspicious people light fires.
with hoods.
Very, very non-suspicious.
Not
From
hoods.
from your backgrounds, does anyone have the fire lighting speciality?
No.
No.
Okay, fair enough then. Damrod, give me survival.
12th.
You're able to get a fire going early on, but it's going to be difficult to keep it going throughout the night. So while you are setting up your camp, you're able to get a fire going and huddle around for warmth and trying to get dry slightly. But other than that, it's going to take a lot of wood and a lot of effort to keep it going.
I imagine that's probably fine. Just, maybe so that we have like a hot meal and have light for a bit. Maybe have the elves take the last watches. That way that we have people that can see. I assume they can see in the dark. I think that's what we talked about before. people that can see in the dark as the last watch if it's going to be hard to keep the fire going.
Yeah. Okay. So, who's going to take first watch?
Maricar can take first watch.
Okay. Can you give me a D4
I can't.
and then a perception check, please? Okay.
Oof.
During your watch, not much happens. Give me a survival check. Yeah, the fire starts going out, but you're able to stoke it and feed it enough to keep it going. Yeah,
That was close.
You rolled that one with advantage because you got a 3 on your encounter dice, basically.
Nice.
If you got a 2, then it wouldn't have been advantage. Yeah, but other than that, nothing comes to your attention.
So you'd go wake up whoever's second watch then.
Damrod, I think it is.
Guess that would be me.
Yeah. All right, a D4 Damrod, and then a perception check.
Just checking the specialties from your background. That's a roll table, right? Am I looking at the right thing?
It is, yeah. You have roll tables.
Okay. I was
Obviously,
checking to see.
You don't have to roll for them. You can just pick whichever one you want, or you can roll for it. It's entirely up to you.
What? Yeah, I'll check it later because the the fire thing's not on there anyways. I was just double checking to see if I had it or not. So what am I rolling again? A D4 and what else?
A D4 and then a perception check.
3 on the D4.
Yeah.
And 11 on the perception.
Yeah. Okay. And then a survival check as well.
16 on the survival.
Yeah. You're also able to keep the fire going. Again, you could see that it was beginning to die out in the wind and the rain. And you're able to keep it going enough through your watch. It's not the greatest fire, but it's still going. It's still got some life to it. Nothing else you are able to see or hear throughout the night? No issues or concerns?
And then I would grab either Rook or Aurelion for the next watch.
Which one are you getting?
Which one would have agreed to have the next watch?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
I will get Rook then.
So Rook, you've probably had your 4 hours already, you and Aurelion. Give me a D4 and a perception check. Okay. Give me a survival check. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately, on your watch, the fire does burn out.
Doesn't matter. I have night. I have dark vision.
Yeah, perhaps there's a one of those sporadic rain showers, and it's just impossible to keep it going.
Sorry.
It's okay. That was probably one of the least bad things that could have happened.
Yeah, all things considered.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Aurelion, it would be then your watch. So just give me that D4 and perception. Okay.
Aurelion's like trying to read the map by this one red coal that's still there on the fire that he can't get
yeah,
to
the
light
smoke.
anymore.
Yeah. And again, your watch goes by without any issues or concerns, unless you're going to try and get the fire going again.
No, I think we're good. It's almost daytime.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you give me a D8 then, Aurelion? Yeah. Weather is remaining the same. The sporadic rain showers, along with howling wind from the southwest now. You wake up the next morning. Everyone is maybe a little bit miserable from being wet and soggy. You know, it wasn't probably the greatest night with the wind and the rain, but you managed to sleep okay. So which direction would you like to go in, Nathan? Damrod, as a guide, you can try and go straight north through the heart of the marsh, or you can try and head towards the Weather Hills and skirt around the heart of the marsh a little bit more.
I'm probably gonna, like, as we're packing up, kind of talk to Aurelion first, and just mention we could go through the marshes, and if someone is following us, unless they know our true purpose, they may not follow us through that. We take the easier path, it's likely that whoever's following us will still follow. If we go through the marshes and they still follow, then we know they're more than just mad at your pointy ears.
I think that might be wise. It's very likely
That's a good point.
It's very likely that this.
When did you get here, Marikar?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, he was just standing there, like
We're
right
here,
behind you.
and then he comes like, "That's a good point." Oh, hold on. Oh, I can't. I don't have a third arm. That sounds wise. This will likely be difficult, and I'm sure we'll all come out of it very miserable, but it's worth it rather than being surprised by someone who might be here to cause trouble.
Well, to be fair, we might get a bit muddier, but I don't think we can get any wetter than we are now.
That is completely fair. And I'll take what little hair I have and just wring it out.
The marshes it is. And I guess we'll take the marsh way then.
Okay, through the heart of the marsh. So you're going to go directly north from this position then.
Don't follow the lights in the marshes though.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's not a good thing.
Give me a survival check then. Nice.
22.
And Rook, give me a stealth check. Okay. Marikar, give me perception. Excellent. And Aurelion, give me a survival. Oh, wow.
No.
You did good.
Get all these good rolls out of the way now. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give all the
To
bad
be fair,
rolls.
it's time for some good rolls.
Give all the bad ones to Nathan. So at least if he gets a 1, then he can re-roll it.
There you go.
You'd better give 1 at some point, or else that was for nothing.
Not a damn thing.
I won't now. Now that you've given me that, I won't roll any more ones for the rest of the night.
Well, then it worked out in a different way.
It's been 3 days, so I think this is the last day I have to use them.
Oh no, has it been 3 days?
It's been at least 2, because Kevin said we've been traveling for 2, I think.
This is the end of day 2.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. Because you pushed on that first day, you covered a lot more ground than you would have
Perfect.
usually. And then, like, again, you've traveled this whole day, and it's almost at the quarter of the speed you traveled at the day before. Like distance traveled as well as, in that same time period. Yeah. So you trudge, you push on through the marsh. I want everyone to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, healthy boy.
Finally.
I'm gonna inspire mine. Are you kidding me?
Dang, see, I told you.
I am inspired for you actually. That is beautiful.
So Marikar got a 10. Marikar, you're actually okay.
Did you just roll a DF and get a -1?
Yeah, a D failure. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a D fudge.
And it
Um,
fudged you a -1?
I guess so. I don't know what fudge means.
Damrod, you unfortunately, perhaps leading the way and trying to be the guide, you maybe have had to not wear your hood so much, whereas the others can sort of just cover up and keep their head down. You've had to be a lot more aware of your surroundings, which has exposed yourself some.
The
And-
times I've like tried to put my hood up, the wind just and blows it right back off.
Yeah, while you are in the marsh, you're going to be rolling skill checks at disadvantage, and it's not because you're tired or exhausted in that way. It's more so that the flies and the mud, and the water, have just saturated your clothes, and it's more so just annoying and miserable than feeling like tired and exhausted through this. Because you're the one leading the way, you've probably put your foot in more of the bogs and more of the puddles and more of the soggy bits than anyone else.
Soggy bits.
The moist areas.
I look like I have the same look and demeanor as Gandalf has whenever they're going up the mountain in the snow. When he's
Yeah.
leading the he's leading the party up the side of the mountain. Nate knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally get you.
Yeah. But you can you stop for the day. Maybe glad to stop for the day. Rook, give me a stealth check.
Yes, sir.
See if you can find as best a camping site as possible.
14. It's not horrible.
Yeah, it's very difficult, extremely difficult to do so. And even though you find a small patch, there is no cover. There's no shelter. It's going to be a pretty exposed campsite for tonight.
I turn around to the rest of the party and say, well, I hope you're ready to get wet some more.
And there's no, unless you've brought wood with you, there will be no wood for you to have a fire also.
Marikar's got enough wood for all of us.
He just
You
looks
leave
at
my
the-
you leave my hood alone.
Did you bring your hood with you?
Oh, always. He's wearing it. That's what's kept him dry this whole time.
Rook would walk over and grab your hood. We can use this as firewood, right?
It
And
actually makes that popping sound. It comes off.
He goes, "Oh man, I have such a headache."
and he's got a dent in his head.
Yeah.
That thing
say-
is
I hold this up and say, not only is this for the good of the party, your head does not look good, bro.
Yeah, his whole head is like deep purple.
The
that
worst
thing is
case
probably
of
so
ever.
waterlogged. It's not gonna do anything.
It's not going to burn because it's wet inside and outside.
Mhm.
I take it and just toss it. He doesn't need it anyway. It's hurting his head.
A
Yeah,
little
maybe that
frog
wasn't a
on
good
him.
idea.
Yeah, you all will stop and rest for the night, but you're not going to have any fire.
What's happening?
What is that?
Oh, did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I got nothing.
He doesn't know.
Every time I hear that, I immediately look to Ray's screen though, because
It's
I
not
do
me.
I did her widescreen once, and we're like,
Yeah, she.
and
She's
everybody
not the only one who has someone
like they
screaming
didn't
in the
hear it, but we
background.
totally heard it.
Yeah. Can that be the next animated emote? Just Nate's face doing that.
if we ever get there, I'm waiting for a slot for his other emote. His
Yeah.
Back from where we were.
Oh man.
That was
Before we had emotes.
yeah.
that's when we were roasting his other Lord of the Rings character.
hmm
He was a cool character. I liked him.
Too bad he's maybe dead now. Maybe.
Who's to say really? Dead, not dead. It's all figure of speech at the end of the day.
Kevin and the books are to say.
Yes. You stop for the night. Again, you're not going to have any light, and you're not going to have any warmth.
Sucks for the humans.
Yeah, so you can settle in for the night. What would you all be doing?
I mean, other than pulling watch, I mean, being as exposed as we are, Rook would probably go out a little further, like lay down and crawl around slowly, make sure there's nothing that's going to come in that we don't see because we're open. He just take his time crawling around like an idiot on the ground.
I will put the finishing touches on a hagweed potion, which whenever Rook comes back, I will give to him. And Charlie, if you want to add that to your inventory, it gives you, let's see, it gives you advantage on all saving throws against corruption for 1 week.
Aurelian, you can give me a D4.
Okay.
You do find, because of your because of Marikar's eagle eye once more, as well as your survival, you do find 3 pieces of hagweed.
Oh, I already
Well,
had some hagweed.
Yeah, well, you find
Oh,
some more
nice.
being out in the marsh.
Okay. If I have any, I don't know if I've got any potion bottles, but if I do, then I will fill up 3 more and then hand them out to the rest of the party.
Added.
Little something to keep the shadow away while
When
this
I
night.
come back and
particularly-
Aurelian hands this to me, I go, this is going to come in handy at some point.
I'm sure it will.
I would go find Marikar and ask if he's got this handle done.
Yeah, so Marikar, he'd be working on the handle, and as he's handle, he would be like just asking everyone in camp who's awake, just ridiculous questions. You know, like, how do you think this was made, or who do you think invented this? You know, like, who is the first person to think about eating an oyster?
As many answers as I can, I will be that guy and tell you exactly the right answer.
Oh, and he just have him come and all these
Mhm.
stupid thoughts. Yeah, like, you know, because like oysters, they look like just rocks. Like, who thought about cracking one of those sons of bitches open and just like slurping it? You know, weird.
Well,
I mean,
I'm
they
sure.
really look like rocks. They had a defined line.
Yeah, but like they look really rocky, you know, and like when you touch them, you don't think, oh, that must be yummy.
Well, to be fair, there are
And
otters
he
that do
just,
the same thing with scallops. They crack them open and eat what's inside.
what's a scallop?
It's
I mean,
essentially.
honestly, but he wouldn't know what an oyster is either, probably.
He's probably heard stories of oysters. It's essentially the same thing, but for river-dwelling creatures. It looks more
Mm.
like a clamshell, and I will like mime the clam opening up.
I I reckon Bree might have had a supply of oysters or clams, maybe. Come up from the south, from the Southerners, from Tharbad, the refugees from there
Mm.
have come up recently. They might have fished some or fetched some out of the waters recently. So
Yeah, so he'd definitely be like, have y'all ever seen like the ocean?
Yes,
No
our
way.
people,
uh,
our people came from across the ocean.
Aurelion might have. Rook has never seen the ocean.
Ah, no.
Simply because if Rook probably sees the ocean or hears the ocean, then he would be making saves, wisdom saves.
What does that mean?
You call me stupid?
No, it's
he's
It's
calling you got some trauma.
it's basically you would gain the longing for the sea, effectively, and
Like
you
the
would
sea to the Grey Havens, or just the sea in general?
well, the sea from the Grey Havens and sail west.
Oh.
It's what happens to Legolas in the books. Basically, he travels with Aragorn through Gondor, and as he's traveling through Gondor, he hears the sea for the first time, and from that moment on, all he thinks about is like, oh, he gets the longing to basically sail the sea and go to Valinor.
Dude,
So
that's sick.
That's
Yeah.
actually really
I would
cool.
go to Valinor.
yeah, so he basically starts pining for to sail across the sea and for the sea.
Mhm. Whenever you say that, actually, I don't know if Aurelion's been to the sea, but he would just like make a face like he's really annoyed when you mention that.
And Marikar, he'd put on some crafted wooden glasses with no lenses in them, and he would say, how does that make you feel?
I glare at him and throw him his potion. Drink that if you're feeling the shadow come upon you.
Why do you
Yeah,
gotta be so rude when you're helping somebody, Aurelion?
Probably the answer to Marikar's oyster question. Aurelion would probably reel off, well, it was most likely Rook's descendants. The Teleri reached the sea first, and
Do you mean ancestors, not descendants?
oh yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say, Rook, you have children?
I was
It's
thinking,
time
wait
travel,
a minute, there's a part of the story I apparently missed.
It's time travel. It's all working out. We've turned into the wheel of time.
You love that.
that would be Marikar's next question too. You think we
Yeah.
could ever like go back and experience the past?
No.
Like, yeah. Well, not with that
Maybe,
attitude.
actually, maybe in Amazon's new reboot, it's possible.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Had to go
Yeah.
there.
You'd probably say, well, it's the it was the brother of the king of the Teleri who reached the sea before sailing across it to Valinor, and just giving some heritage of the wood elves and how they the two different cultures of elves joined together, and one of them loved sailing the seas and stuff like that.
And as Aurelion is telling me this, I'm sure he would notice, but Marikar would actually be just as interested in learning about Aurelion's history as he was listening to Damrod go through kind of his people's telling of, where they were and how things were made. Like you get a sense that he's definitely very interested in this kind of stuff. So yeah, he would definitely appreciate you telling him everything that you knew.
And he's not trying to be like, until you start mentioning the ocean and he gets annoyed, like specifically, have you been to the ocean? He wouldn't be doing this like out of spite or like sarcasm. He's just genuinely trying to teach you.
Yeah, and you would notice that Marikar is full of questions. Like anytime you mention a person's name or a word that he doesn't know, he's right there with, wait, what? Go back. What's that thing? Or what do you mean? Like a
Why
ship's
is
as
that
big
guy
as what?
important?
Yeah, like who is that guy? Where did he come from? Why is he important to this whole thing? Like he's in it.
Yeah,
He's
and
very interested.
Aurelian doesn't get mad when you're like, oh, stop what you're talking about right now. What is this?
Mhm.
Like he just goes, oh yeah, that was obviously, it was the Cinderin that came from the west and they split off. Shoot, what else called again?
The green elves.
What's that?
So the Noldor
The
came
Noldor, that's what I was thinking. I keep
came
thinking
from the sea.
Norwegian.
Yeah, the Noldor came back from across the west.
Mm.
The Sindar were the sort of the high elves of the time, before the Noldor came, and then the green elves were the simple wood-loving elves, effectively.
They were the hippies.
Yeah, but then after the First Age, the Sindar and the Wood Elves sort of merged together to form what we would know now as the Wood Elves.
But yeah, that's kind of what he'd be doing while he's kind of carving this handle again. Every once in a while, asking Rook to, hey, fill this real quick. Stuff like
What
that.
were the two rolls you made last time? You had wood carver's tools and
I got a 24 total.
oh yeah, that was it. It was 3 wood carver tools, wasn't it? Give me the 3 again: dexterity, intelligence, and wisdom. These will be a disadvantage.
Okay.
Just because of you've not had a lot of time to sit and do stuff, and this is in the dark as well.
Damn, I do better in the dark. Fuck.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah, 12, 15. So that's 35 this time. Is that right? 20. Yeah, 35. So add the 35 to your 24.
59.
Almost
Thanks,
nice.
Ray.
Yeah.
59.
10 away from nice.
59. Gotcha. Sweet.
Yeah. So Marikar, give me a D4 and a perception check.
Oof.
Okay.
And we get attacked.
Yeah, let's go.
Damrod, give me a D4 and a perception check as the watch passes to you.
This is going to be at disadvantage, right? For the perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a disadvantage anyway because it's nighttime.
Because it's nighttime, okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Ooh.
That's
Still-
awesome.
Still
Thanks.
not bad at
I mean,
all.
still a good roll, but fuck you, roll 20.
Okay. You you think you hear something moving through something moving nearby, not so close that it's like on top of you, but in between the wind dying down slightly. It's something that might be moving through the marsh, or several things moving through the marsh, some way off, but close enough for you to hear.
I think that before we went to bed, or before, I guess before Damrod took his watch, maybe, he would have gathered. Well, I guess I should ask, if I could find a couple of stones, like maybe 3 or 4 stones, like just kind of small stones.
Before you entered the marsh.
I probably wouldn't have thought of it before that.
Then I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Then give me a nature,
There you
and we'll
go.
find out. Okay, yeah, you can find stones.
And I would just kind of try to kind of get a general direction of where Aurelion and Rook would be, and then knowing that Rook's watch is next, hearing these sounds, just kind of toss a stone or two off in his direction, seeing if I can possibly get his attention without stumbling around in the dark.
Again, the piece of sort of firm land it's not very big. You're talking maybe 15 feet across, so you're all pretty close together. And this sloshing, and it sounds like someone or something is like treading through water, or making its way through the marsh. It's far enough away for you to think I could probably whisper.
It's my precious.
Then I guess I'd try to whisper and try to get Rook's attention. Rook.
He kind of like come out of his little sleep trance, like, yes.
I hear
Can't fool
something.
me. You don't sleep.
I hear something off in that direction, and I will like point that direction, whichever
Rookus,
direction
like,
I hear him
slowly
from.
go up and like slowly pull like an arrow. Kind of lock it. Where?
What's your elf eyes see?
Yeah, give me perception check. Okay.
22.
You see right. Yeah, I would say you would hear, not see still. Even though you have dark vision, it still has a limit to it. You would hear in the direction towards the north, that of several feet, legs sloshing through water. But it's moving away from you.
I tell Jamrod, it's like there's people moving away from us, and there's several of them. We need to get people up. We need to get moving, or we need to figure out who it was that was following us, or in our proximity.
If they're moving
Nobody's
away,
just walking around.
if they're moving away, they likely don't know where we're at. I think we may just be able to keep an ear open for them. They're moving away from us. He said they may not know we're here. Or they may not know where we're at in the marshes.
So we just stay put.
I think that might be wisest. If we go grabbing our stuff and trying to move out ourselves, especially with Marikar and I not being able to see as well as the other two of you, we likely will make the same noise, splashing around in the marshes. And then they will hear us.
Rook would keep an arrow locked and like just kind of like figure out where the general vicinity of like the group is and kind of like slowly move in front of them because I can kind of see if anything comes our direction. And I would tell him to wake Aurelion and let him know what's going on. Or I don't know. I guess not wake him, but
Rouse him.
there you go. And I just sit in the same spot, focus down the direction where the footprints were coming from.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long before you lose sound of the whatever it was, and it just continued off in a northerly direction.
So it's heading the direction that we're wanting to go.
I would say it probably came from the eastish of you, northeastish, and it's sort of heading northwest, maybe slightly more north. So it's sort of crashed. It's gonna cross the path that you was heading in.
Okay.
But it came off to your east, and you almost heard it come past you on the east. Get closer, closer, cross your path, and get further away.
All right, that's fine then. I was just going to be I was going to be concerned if it's pretty much heading the path, like the direction we're trying to head. That might be another situation entirely, but that's fine. I would go rouse Aurelion though and fill him in on what's happening and what we heard.
Do you think we should wake up Marikar also? I know he'll have difficulty seeing, but he's a force to be reckoned with in battle.
I think
I think they were going away from us. I think right now we're okay.
I think that as long as we don't hear them anymore and they've moved away from us, I think we're fine. I think that if the two of you have had enough of your rest, it might be best for you to finish up the watches for the night.
I think so. You get some rest, and I will go to meet Rook. And I will just crouch down next to him. From which direction? Did you hear them?
And he would point towards the general direction.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit towards the north, a couple feet in front of us is where I heard him.
Are there any trees around here, Kevin?
Occasionally.
Rook, would you like to take a perch in a tree? I can stay down here.
I would kind of give him a nod and try to find the closest tree to us.
Give me a perception check. Let's see if there's one nearby. Yeah, there is.
Why are we getting so many good rolls tonight?
If you wish, you could even be like underneath a tree, all of you, and you can shimmy up the tree, or
So I'll go up the tree.
I will knock an arrow and not really point it in any direction, just have it facing towards the ground, just in case anything decides to come out at us.
Okay. Each of you give me a D4 and a perception check.
Is that including me?
No, just the
Okay,
two
gotcha.
elves now.
I'm
Yeah.
still snoozing.
We both got a D4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Dang.
Okay.
Fucking dream team right there.
Hey Ray,
Huh?
I have a D4 too.
Shut up.
That's not a D4. That's a
Or is it only rolling D4 like a 4? Okay, no, it's not.
Nope.
Hey, don't get complaining about fours.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's very strange.
I mean, it
25% chance.
might have just saved your lives.
Mm-hmm. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying
I
that
like
like
that.
25% chance.
Might have.
Yeah.
Might, yeah,
right-
he said might have and have saved your life.
yeah.
So I mean,
Mhm.
From
none of
the
that-
giant millipede dragon that lives in his mouth.
they didn't cover that in the canon,
It's
We're not
one
in
of the
canon
elder
anymore.
things.
obviously.
Oh, they got cannons in this world?
Yeah, it's in the Amazon series.
The elves
Ah.
see the elves shoot their shotguns out of cannons.
Mm-hmm.
They're shot bows.
So much damage and destruction.
Yeah. See, that's what they could have had if they actually were friends with dwarves.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Right now, the dwarves have the gunpowder, but they don't have the gun shells that the elves have.
The gun shells, yeah. Yeah, I love it.
So
Like the cat.
the rest of the night passes uneventfully. You hear or see no sign of anything else. Everyone will have to give me a Constitution saving throw, however, as the night was not a very restful night.
Damn it.
Marikar.
Guys, you all got inspiration at the beginning of the session. I'm just saying.
Oh, did we?
Oh,
I
Look,
think so.
I've tried my inspiration twice and gotten less each time. Okay, I'm not doing it again.
a little better.
Well, Kevin always says like you get inspiration at the start of every session.
Yeah.
Is your
Oh, okay.
is your Constitution score the same as your Constitution saving throw, Ray?
Yeah.
'Cause it looks like you just rolled a con check.
Yeah,
It
but
is
it's the same.
Okay,
It is the same.
just checking.
Sorry about that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could have gotten better than a 17.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, so with the inspirational re-rolls, you all pass.
You are welcome.
Oh, I
Just-
didn't roll that with inspiration.
Oh,
I clicked the Constitution button to see if it
Oh, never mind.
just for
gotcha.
funsies.
okay. Marikar,
Yeah, I
You
still got
did
the
not-
8.
you did not get a very good night's sleep, and you wake up tired and stiff and soggy, and you're going to be exhausted.
Oh no.
You're going to have the first level of exhaustion. Yeah.
So that means, do I have a button for that?
Disadvantage.
Actually,
I
It will
do
just
not
be
have a button.
disadvantage on all checks.
can I use my Alberoth Githonio to have
Bless you.
his level of exhaustion or miserable go away?
Yes, you can.
I mean,
Okay.
it's only level 1 exhaustion. It's not too bad.
Well,
Is
And
that
spend
is that a
inspiration.
is that a finite resource?
well, I have to spend an inspiration, and that'll be my last inspiration. But I'm probably going to get one next session.
All right,
Okay.
you know,
Do
do
you
what
think
you're
you
gonna
need
do.
it?
No.
Yeah, so I imagine with that you see Marikar get up and he's got bags under his eyes and he's looking pretty
He's looking
miserable
a
as
little rough.
well, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Well, also, I will say that it says I get advantage on my next roll, and any elven hero, elf friend, and any who have been blessed by the firstborn in the company gain advantage on their next die roll. So it's not just you.
Okay.
Would that just be
Nice.
me and Rook?
Yes, for the time being.
Okay, and I will spin that. So you would hear just like you wake up and Aurelian would notice how bad you look, and he would just sing this song that you don't particularly recognize, but it does give you like a boost that helps your exhaustion go away. And Brooke would recognize it as being something that both of our mothers shared with us, and so he's probably bolstered a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice song there.
Elbereth is one of the names of Vada, the Lady of Light. She's basically the queen of the gods, effectively.
Mhm.
And she is she's the goddess of light, and the stars and stuff like that.
I found a really good cover. I'll share in the group chat.
Yeah, but that level of exhaustion that has faded away. You're
Cool.
able to certainly push on through now, Marika,
Awesome.
feeling somewhat more refreshed.
No, Aurelian, I didn't know you could sing. I feel more refreshed and invigorated. Is that no vigor?
Invigorated.
You'll get there. You did.
Vigorator.
A song won't cure.
I got the Riz. Yeah.
a song can't quite heal a foggy mind, but it should restore your body.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. That's it's always good to start your day out with a song. And then Marikar starts singing, but he's really bad at it.
I knew I had a friend that I'm sure you would have gotten along well with. He played the bagpipes about on the same level as your singing.
What's a bagpipe?
Oh, blessed that you don't know what it is.
It's a dwarven. It's a dwarven instrument.
Sounds like that.
Damrod has certainly heard of this bagpipe. Maybe not heard one, but has heard of one.
Yeah, his dad was really into bagpipes.
Yes.
Well, so was Damrod's dad.
What?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
That's who we were talking about,
Is
right?
that not what I said?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said that Marikar has heard of this. I'm so sorry.
Nate, no one can keep our two names straight, so it's neither we can't either. So
That's not our fault.
I know Marikar, Damrod. It's basically the same thing.
Practically indistinguishable.
Yeah.
So, Damrod, give me a survival check as you. In fact, give me a D8 first. Weather's getting slightly better. Rain has stopped, but the wind is still howling. Yeah, give me a survival check. Okay, excellent. You're
18.
able to. Oh, it's 13.
oh, it's a
is it?
13, yeah, because I have disadvantage.
Yeah, that's turned into a 15 with your double proficiency. So, okay. Rook, give me a stealth check.
And it's at advantage.
Wait, hold on. My character sheet went away.
Marikar, you can give me perception.
Ooh.
And Aurelion, you can give me survival. 14 stealth, okay.
And that's 17.
And 17, okay. Is there anything specific that Aurelion would be looking for?
Am I looking for food or just keeping an eye out?
I mean,
so,
you're the hunter.
I know, but also I was the hunter for the past 2 days, and Kevin just described me finding some weeds.
Yeah,
You're the hunter
because-
gatherer.
Well,
I mean,
that being said, I pointed out the weeds to you.
Yes. Okay. I will assume that the rest of the group is going to keep an eye out for whoever might be following us. I'll just keep an eye on some berries and perhaps some edible mushrooms and dandelions and stuff like that.
I mean,
Of course,
some
keeping-
shroomies.
technically, you could keep an eye out for the enemy and hunt the enemy too. I'm just saying, like,
I mean, if we need food, then I will keep
Well,
an eye out for food.
I can't
we
do
know that
both.
it's the enemy?
Okay, so what I'll say is then, you're able to make progress through the day, but it's maybe not as much progress as the day before. But you've made some progress for certain. The
Freaking marshes.
yeah, Aurelion, you're able to find some mushrooms, some edible mushrooms.
Any
Yeah,
hallucinogenics?
yeah, maybe. We'll check in a minute. But you do find on your travels some tracks, perhaps of those that you were made aware of in the night.
What size shoe does it look like they are? Like, does it look like a? First of all, is it a shoe or is it a bare foot? Are we dealing with hobbits or men?
These are bare feet, not bare feet, as in
The
they're
hobbits.
barefooted.
Raw.
Yeah. Give me an investigation check.
I do not like roll 20s tonight.
Yeah. Very difficult to work out what sort of feet they are.
Fair.
But I will say that there are multiple. So definitely more than one set. Or it's one creature that has multiple legs.
Can hobbits see in the dark?
Hobbits, no.
Mhm.
No.
Okay. Whenever I rejoin the group, I will say it looks like either a large group of hobbits or one many-footed hobbit came about this way. But I don't know if it's exactly a hobbit. They're not known for seeing in the dark, and surely we would have spotted a torch.
Assuming
Wait, some hobbits have more than 2 feet?
None that I've been made aware of.
That's got to be hilarious.
I bet they run really fast.
And Marikar just starts laughing his ass off.
But I did find a little bit of food.
I guess the running fast depends on how dexterous they are with all the extra legs.
Well,
Could be
surely
getting all tangled up.
if you were born with that many legs, then you would know how to use them.
Marikar falls
Yes.
over laughing at the idea.
And that's like, this is, you can tell, probably everybody but Marikar can tell, like, this is the only reason Damrod keeps talking about this, is because he's getting a kick out of Marikar. But he's like, he looks at Aurelion like with what looks like the most seriousness, but probably Aurelion sees through it, and he's like, can you imagine?
Hobbit centipede.
Does a 10?
Maybe you don't see through it.
I'm tired, man.
Can you imagine having the frame you have now and putting 2 more legs on it and trying to run with that? There's not really a lot of room for 2 extra legs.
Well, that's not entirely possible. There are
Marikar
no.
pisses himself.
There
He's
are no-
losing it.
There are no 4-legged beings that stand upright like we are. Do you think these are the kind of questions that fish have towards us. How do we not get our legs tangled? No, because we know how to use our legs. Same with
Rook just
horses, same with
rolls his
dogs.
eyes like, oh my gosh, are we really doing that?
Yes, we are.
This is ridiculous.
I think you're missing the point, Aurelion. If you stuck 2 more legs on someone our size or even smaller, where are they gonna go? You think they just hang there until they bend down and run on all 4s?
I would assume so, considering there is no 4-legged creature who
No.
walks upright.
Yes, but you yourself said you've never seen a multi-legged hobbit. What if it just defies your imagination?
I've read about many things that defy my imagination. Whip-wielding demons, fire-breathing dragons, never a multi-legged hobbit.
Maybe we're fixing to discover something new.
Maybe.
We can call him Big Feet.
Marikar, if we find it, you can be the one to name it that.
Oh, I'm gonna go find him. And Marikar starts trudging along.
He's doing like the snowshoe walk.
Everyone, for the end of the day, everyone give me a Constitution saving throw.
Damn, I've not done well.
Oh, I still just roll cost. It's the same thing.
It's bullshit.
Okay. I'm gonna use my last inspiration. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Hey, it
God.
worked out.
Ugh.
Okay. So Rook, you
Wait,
have
Kevin, do I have disadvantage on the con saves too?
no,
Okay.
just ability check.
Okay.
And that was just from the flies and the muck. Mablung, Rook, unfortunately, you maybe fell in some water, or the flies and bugs, the midges of Midgewater, finally got to you. They were getting in your eye. You were slapping them off your face. You've been bitten a lot today by the flies and midges of the area, and you're going to be exhausted also from it. Yeah, so that's disadvantage on ability checks, not attack rolls or saving throws, just ability checks. Okay. Rook, would you like to give me a stealth check to see if you can find a camp for the night?
$14.
Midget wrestling. 14. Well, remember you're at disadvantage, so that is 13. Okay. You find a piece of land, not very big. It's rather exposed. The wind is still blowing pretty hard. And you are able to rest. Find a spot on a firm piece of land for the night, and you all settle down to rest for the night. I guess you have had discussions through the day, but is there anything that anyone would have discussed or spoke about as you've been traveling through the marsh?
Not that I can think of.
Nothing specifically.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Damrod's
Marikar-
probably relatively quiet.
Marikar might have started having a conversation about armor. So from a on paper standpoint, he has the ability to wear armor without what's it, armored fury, I think it is.
Yeah, you can wear heavy armor and still go into your rage.
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah, so I think he would be thinking about kind of what is, like kind of armor, is it more of a hindrance in battle than it is protection because it's like so clunky and stuff. He'd probably start up a conversation with the group about that, trying to just understand kind of, is it as beneficial as people say if you're actually skilled in combat, you know what I mean? Or is it just kind of a crutch that people have when they can't actually really hit anything, so that's about all he would bring up, just to kind of start leaning into that a little bit.
Probably the best one to answer that is Damrod.
Yeah.
What do you say, Damrod?
I find wooden armor is the best.
That's insightful.
No, and then Damrod would start laughing and give you like some legitimate pointers about the different armors and different like fighting styles he's seen different people use in these different armors. And then probably at some point he would go off on a tangent about the armor of his people and how, like, what he knows about how it being made and what used to go into it and stuff. But maybe not giving away any trade secrets if there's any trade secrets to give away. But your question about armor has probably at some point turned into a history lesson.
Hell yeah, we love those here.
Yeah, and like,
go on,
go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
okay, I'm going. Right.
There we go.
Because this might help also what you're going to respond back with. I think maybe Damrod would actually look at Marakar and go, we've fought a little bit now, and you actually remind me of how my father fights. And he's someone that wears heavy armor and still sort of fights in a very similar fashion, a very furious fashion on the battlefield. He's only maybe seen his father fight a few times, a few skirmishes here and there, but it is sort of similar. And he actually wears, he's able to wear heavy armor, and it keeps him protected.
When Damrod's telling you this stuff about his father Nate, you feel like you know him. You feel like you like somewhere in the back of your mind, you feel like you've been this person before.
Yeah. And Marakar, he definitely he thinks about it a lot, and he would ask as the conversation keeps going, he would say, is there a skill to fighting with armor? Like, is it different? Like, would you have to learn how to do it?
Is it like a feat?
Yeah, like a feature to my class and level.
I think to find that out, you're gonna have to investigate. Should I even say it to you? You're gonna have to investigate some type of book of rules or some kind of resource that tell you if you yourself can use those things.
Consult the master of lore.
There are manuals and treaties that go over these things.
Yeah.
Only certain types of people can wear certain types of armor without being at a disadvantage.
On this trip in particular, maybe the whole party may have noticed. I think Damrod has gotten the sense of this before, from when we first met. But I think the whole party might be getting a sense of Marakar is definitely interested in history. But it's just the whole classic thing of he's never been professionally trained in schooling of any type. But his face just keeps lighting up as he learns more about your guys' culture and the intricacies of how the world kind of works. It's like every day is a whole new adventure for him being with you guys. And he ends off kind of the conversation with yeah, I appreciate the advice. I think I'm going to invest in some type of armor. Hopefully it's not too expensive. I have 20 silver pieces. Do you think that's enough for some armor?
I think
Not likely.
Yeah, I think some of the points that Damrod would have probably given to Marakar is that it can be a little bit more restrictive. However, the payoff is that you don't need to train your body as much to protect yourself. You know, he's probably looked at you and gone, well, you know, you're a pretty tough sort, but you know, you've had to train your body a lot to be that tough and resilient. Whereas if you wear armor, heavier armor, you don't need to train as much. You don't need to be as tough. And it protects you a little bit more. So those are like the basic key elements of wearing certainly heavier armor as well.
For sure. Yeah, that's the only conversation Marakar would really have.
So you find your camp, and I think we are gonna end there for the night.
Cool.
And for the session. I know that we wanted to finish slightly earlier,
Oops.
and this might be a good stopping point. Damrod, do you feel that you are maybe a day away, as long as you are still able to guide the group pretty well? And so sometime tomorrow, towards the end of the day, you should be able to find the King's Chair and potentially then the Black Barrow.
I would probably let Aurelion. I would probably let everyone know, but specifically Aurelion, as we kind of settled in that night, that we're likely to reach our destination at some point tomorrow.
Excellent. I think the others are getting a little bit wary.
I fear that we may be following suit very soon if we do not reach our destination.
Exactly. I'd be lying if I said that it wouldn't be nice to rest.
And with that, we will finish the session for tonight. And we will pick up not in 2 weeks, because I believe I will be over the pond.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And we will
That's
have to
gonna be
make
awesome.
plans to see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
I'm really excited. I can't wait now. I'm on the countdown. I've got 4 more shifts at work. That's it. Friday, Saturday.
4?
Counting down the hours.
Yeah. I've got Friday and Saturday, and then Monday and Tuesday, and then it is my mom and dad's 60th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Dude.
Dang.
Nice. Good for them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They've organized a large party for literally the night before I fly out.
Nice.
So,
Of course.
Will
it's
be.
going to be a late party and then a super early in the morning flight, which is not conducive to a good time, but that is not going to put a dampener on anything at all.
That just means you can sleep on the plane.
I hope so.
That's
I
true.
really
Yeah.
hope so.
Just splurge for a first class ticket. You'll be fine.
Just don't sit by any kids that are gonna bite you on the plane, and you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
I'll put you in the mouth.
Yeah,
That's-
then it'll be
don't-
like you're at work.
Yeah.
Kevin, look, kids in America don't get tested for rabies as much as they do in England, so you might need to look out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rabies bitten kids over here, apparently.
Hmm.
I know.
Hey, man, don't act like you've never met one.
Yeah, well,
Howdy.
Well, we need to get in the chat and figure out if we're gonna do anything while you're down here. I know we've talked about it a little bit. We need to try to
Yeah, we need to get
set some
details
plans
down.
and see what we can do. I mean, I haven't met any of you guys. Like I haven't met any even in the old group that I was invited to with Nate and Kevin. I haven't met any of them. So, and now we've been playing together on the channel for over a year. Charlie's just recently joined us, but Ray's been with us for over a year. And then I've known Nate and Kevin for several years now. Kevin, I think Kevin the longest, because I played with Kevin in a few games before I was even asked to join the original group that Nate was in. So, I mean, but that's still been years.
yeah, I think it's Kevin the longest also.
We haven't, and I haven't met any of you guys. I mean, Ray and I live in the same town. I
never
work
bumped
at the
into each
center
other.
she donates at, and I still haven't met. I still don't know her.
What's up with that?
We just never bumped into each other.
So you make a fucking brunch date, dude. Come on.
Too busy for that.
Yeah, real busy for that.
I don't like people anyways. Like this is like my social interaction.
Especially Ray.
Yeah, look, I don't like
Ray's a
Nathan's-
lot to handle.
What am I gonna do? Meet Ray and get criticized about what I'm doing wrong as
IRL.
being outside.
I can only handle so much abuse.
No, it gets worse when you're when you meet me in person. I'm worse.
Oh no. Just stay your ass at home.
That's gonna be
There's a glass between us right now.
Well, I mean, again, if I'm gonna fly all that way and spend all this money to come across and get down to Tennessee, I'm gonna make sure that something gets done where we at least see each other in the flesh once.
I want pictures.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Come down here
Maybe
yourself,
we can
Charlie.
do a stream.
I can't afford to
Get
go.
us all together.
Nathan,
Yeah.
Nathan finally gets to get me on his podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, here's what you guys got to do. You got to explain everything that's ever happened in Lord of the Rings to him.
Oof. I mean, low key, that's content.
It is content.
I could clip that 10-hour conversation for the next year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast host is gonna fall asleep and
It's literally going to be, the title is Kevin Explains the Silmarillion.
Oh, good luck. Good luck, my boy.
And the first is going to be called "What the hell is a Silmarillion?"
What the hell?
What? They just sung and the people arrived? Is that what happened?
Kind of. I mean,
Well, like, what's it? Okay, hold on. I might fuck this up. Was it Tolkien? That
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So like Tolkien, he got inspiration from a lot of mythology. Just like a lot of writers who do fantasy works and stuff. So like there's definitely still an interesting conversation there, even if I don't know what the hell is a Silmarillion.
Yeah, well, he was a scholar of Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah.
And that's what his love was,
Mhm.
Anglo-Saxon. So he takes a lot of inspiration from Anglo-Saxon and Nordic, but a lot of Finnish language mostly.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he wanted to create a language, but language means nothing without having a people that speak it.
Yeah.
And you can't have a people that speak it without a place where they live. And so it all sort of just built up from that and the love of Anglo-Saxon mythology.
Didn't he start it because he got bored while grading college papers and he wrote down there was a hobbit who lived in a hole, and then he started like branching off of that like crazy?
That came, I think, afterwards. I think because he started writing some of his stories, like the Fall of Gondolin, during World War One, while he was in the trenches.
That explains why Rivendell's the
Oh
way it
shit,
is.
he was a soldier.
Yeah, he was. He was an officer.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah, he was an officer. And like the relationship between Sam and Frodo, I think, was very similar to the relationship between the officers and their runners. Like every officer would have like basically a dog's body that did stuff for them. And it was a professional relationship, but he respected them so much. I think there was a lot of that going on.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And so that's where the Sam and Frodo relationship sort of came from, inspirational wise.
Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. Get my fellow adventurers.
No, that's cool. Charlie, catch you tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
See you, Charlie.
Yeah,
Cool.
I gotta
See
get
you,
going
buddy.
also.
You guys got anything else before we head out?
Nope.
I do. I am, so big milestone. I am like 5 or 6 follows away from that 50 mark to reach affiliate. All the other metrics are
Congrats.
hit. We're just waiting for those last few followers to come in. So I'm going to try before I leave for work again at the end of the week. Gonna try to stream a little bit more. We'll do some like DBD. Our Overwatch season 4 just started, so we were playing around with that yesterday. And then I've gotten a lot of suggestions for Crusader Kings 3. So I'm gonna start checking that out. But we're if you're into like strategy, like grand strategy, 4X games, stuff like that, that's gonna be kind of where I'm heading to. Also, kind of giving a nod to Ray here. I'm thinking about doing some Pokemon Nuzlocke videos.
Nuzlocke?
Yeah, hardcore Nuzlocke. What's it? Nuzlocke? Nuzzlelocke?
Nuzlocke. It comes from
Nuzlocke.
Nuzleaf and Lock, like Lock from Lost. That's where it came from. I'll have to show you the comic.
Okay, yeah, show me the comic. That's fine. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some Pokemon stuff here. I think we're gonna start off with a Nuzlocke of probably Fire Red or Leaf Green. Once I download an emulator on the computer. I've been kind of doing a practice run on my phone with my emulator there, but that's going to be exciting. I keep calling it Nuzlocke.
Nope.
So that's been fun. So yeah, we're working on stuff, and then I just got to sit my ass down in a chair and do some editing for social medias and stuff. But social media is terrible. I hate it.
My friend Jacob says that Fire Red and Leaf Green is the best one to start off with.
That's what I hear from doing the research that I've done. Like that's kind of the easiest one. In my heart, the first Pokemon game that I fully played through was Gold, original Gold with that fat fucking Game Boy Color. So yeah, I'd like to get back to that there. But I'm excited to start diving into the Pokemon worlds. It seems like it's a fun community to hang out with as well. So I'm excited for all that.
But
it definitely is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and what's it? Charlie isn't here anymore. I fucked up, man.
What?
I messed up. We recorded a whole podcast, streamed it live and everything, and I didn't get the VOD.
Oh no!
Oh my, heartbroken.
Is it still on? It's not on Twitch anymore?
No.
Jeez, man. No. That's why you gotta hit record on OBS.
You know, I recorded some of it on OBS, and I was like, fuck it. I'll just download the VOD, and then work came up. And next thing you know, oh yeah, and that was another thing. My fucking Google I don't know. I got 3 terabytes of Google Drive to fill up. Yeah, and credit card declined because everything fell apart all at the same day.
Oh,
Jeez.
So I lost all of everything, man. It's all gone. Yeah, so we're starting from scratch here as far as creating YouTube and clip content. Unfortunately,
always hit record on OBS so that you have that backup. But
I know.
also, one of these at Walmart, I got this for $40-$50 at Walmart. It's a 1 terabyte external hard drive. Also your best friend.
That's it. Man.
I use this basically only for VoDs and past Twitch stuff. When I'm done with
That's
it and
exactly
I don't
what
need
I
it,
need.
I move it here.
Oh my god. You know, I'm still new at this, so I'm gonna take those blunders every once in a while.
Mhm.
I mean, it happens, but
I just hate that I lost 4 hours of content with Charlie. It was such a good fucking episode. Oh,
now you
Let's
can
get him
talk
back
about the
on.
lost episode though.
That's true.
Give that just that draw and that allure of the lost episode.
Now. Lost episode with Charlie. Beautiful. But yeah, that's all I got going on. Exciting stuff. Definitely excited to look into Crusader Kings. I'm not sure how well it translates on Twitch, as far as like live streaming it, because it's a little bit of a slower paced game, and I think Civ is it's still slower paced where I can hang out with chat, but also there's a lot of easy to identify stuff on screen. When I try watching some of the Crusader Kings streams, I also don't know the game, so it's hard for me to keep track of what the hell's going on.
Well, I think I was one of the ones that suggested in one of your videos as well. So, but like I said, I'll be bringing my laptop across with me. So
I'd love to check it out for a little bit and see kind of how it goes.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, Civ 6 is like $9 right now on the stream store. If anyone wants a fucking sick deal, usually like a $40 game. It's like 75% off, 80% off. Cool game. But yeah, that's all I have. Sorry to take up so much time.
You're good.
But
Also, Nate, if you're wanting to try Crusader Kings, I think it might be on Xbox Play Pass, and a lot of times they offer like a 30-day free trial. I know it is on the Xbox version. I don't know if they have the PC version on there, but it might be worth looking into and trying it if it's on there.
Everyone keeps mentioning this Xbox Game Pass thing. I know I bought the game itself for the Xbox that we have, and it's like, oh yeah, your Xbox is too old to play this game, and I'm like, fuck. But yeah, I might look into this Xbox Pass. I play games once a month, 1 week a month. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, the good thing about Game Pass now is they have the stuff, like they have specific stuff that you can download on the Xbox, but they have a PC section now too, where you can download stuff on the PC.
Yeah, so that changes stuff a little bit.
It's different. Like the stuff they have on Xbox may not be on PC, and the stuff they have on PC may not be on Xbox, but it's the same. Like it's the same subscription. I think you can get like the PC by itself and the Xbox by itself, but I pay for both. I think it's like $15 a month, so it's not terribly bad. And I mean, I don't use it too terribly much, but I mean, they're putting free games on there every month or so. So
cool. Yeah, y'all mentioned that too. I'll check into it. But yeah, it just some blunders I've taken this week, but we're looking to keep it rolling here. Trying to hit that affiliate mark before I get back to work, but it might take a little bit.
Yeah,
gonna branch out to a couple different communities. I think I'm gonna do DBD, Dead by Daylight, my next stream, just to see if I could pull a couple people from there. But yeah, that's cool.
Might hit that 50 mark while you're off at work and come back to an affiliate email when you're back home.
That'd be cool, right?
Ray, you got anything coming up?
No. I'm trying to get out of the hell. I'm trying to get out of the hell that is this Pokemon Mystery Dungeon randomizer. It took all of last stream pretty much to get past like the 3rd dungeon.
Randomizers can be rough, man.
I
Randomizers
didn't
can
think
be
it'd be
rough.
this rough. The first time I couldn't get past, like, it took me like an hour to get past the first dungeon.
Oof. Howdy. Well, I mean, the dungeons are supposed to be a mystery. So.
They're a mystery in how hard they are. So now I'm no longer getting one shot from across the room, but I'm getting like, I'm walking into one room and a zillion enemies spawn.
You know, we could do a combination stream where we all just hop on Stardew Valley.
That would be, I want to say yes, but the thing is, I haven't played Stardew Valley with my wife, and if I play it with someone else before my wife, then they will murder me.
Lame. Murder's so lame.
Mm-hmm. They probably wouldn't, but I still would not. I don't know.
I get you. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cammy would punch me in the face if I did something like that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you won't play with me, but you'll play with your friends. I see how
Yeah.
it is.
Oof. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Awesome. Well, that's what I got.
I still think we should all play like Cards Against Humanity or Monster Prom together.
Yeah. No, I'm down with that. Get Kevin in on a community night.
Yep.
No, he's not going to do that. Kevin's like, I'm here for Middle Earth only.
Yeah, and maybe Curse of Iris if it's good enough.
if it is above my taste, you peasants.
It won't be. It won't be.
The party we got cooking right now is fucked up. It's already not going to work.
It's going to be a disaster, but it's going to be it's going to be a beautiful disaster.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like the train wreck that's on fire, but also it's got toxic smoke coming out of it, and like the colors are changing, and you're like, whoa.
You're like, oh, that's really bad.
My original idea was for him to be like lawful neutral, which is, I said to Ray, just me again, but like I can be, you know, he might be fluid with that.
Yeah.
See, you're gonna have to be with this party that's coming up.
I made my character and I was like, yeah, I'll probably be the only one who's like a quote unquote evil character, but like he's not gonna be a dickhead about it. He's gonna still work at the party. And then Ray comes in and is like, hey, I made basically the same character, just like a little different. And we're both looking at our character sheets going, oh, we can make this work. That's fine. Yeah. And then Charlie's like, yeah, I'm thinking like a neutral evil character. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a fucking train wreck.
Listen, I'm lawful evil, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it balances out.
I think I'm neutral evil.
Mm-hmm.
This might not be a very long campaign.
No,
Kevin,
we're gonna murder each other.
Character.
If Tyler was in it, it'd be a chaotic evil. He was like, "Oh, I'm getting the green light now. Let's go."
He brings back the Kenku.
Ooh, if Tyler comes in and he brings back the Kenku, then I gotta go Kenku. I'll rewrite everything.
Kevin, I don't know if you were here, but Nathan was saying something about Tyler, and I was like, what if Soul came back and Soul was the voice of reason in this group?
That is a broken world.
Yeah.
The Lord is not with us if that's the case.
And that Lord is Iris.
Oh man.
All right, guys, I gotta head over to Death of the Deities. It has been a pleasure, and we should get in chat and see if we can maybe do anything next week.
Yes,
for sure.
I mean, if not, I'm just gonna play more Witcher 2, but we don't need you anyways.
Yeah, no. Well, you know.
I mean, to be fair, if we do something like Jackbox again, you could always join on your phone if you're available. So
yeah, it's all dependent on hotel Wi-Fi. Just had to pop on the shades again real quick.
Well, get good hotel Wi-Fi. Pay for that good hotel, and we're fine.
Ooh, don't even get me started on these Hampton Inn motherfuckers. They didn't let me put my diamond profile on there.
Really, don't get me started. I have to go, guys.
I do too. I will see you guys in another dimension.
See you
later.
Bye, guys.